Good morning, everybody. So, welcome to the fifth and final day of our Grants Week. So, just a reminder that this is being organized by the University of Malta's Research Support Services Directorate in collaboration with the Malta Council of Science and Technology and the CEU European Universities Consortium, and supported also by the European Commission. So I thank you for bearing with us to the very end, and I hope you found tons and tons of useful information. Um, just a reminder that this event is being recorded, so after the event, you will have access to the presentations and to the recording. So if you know anybody who would be interested in this information we shared, feel free to forward this information to them. And we shall be doing the same with our researchers, especially researchers joining the University of Malta. And remember to, for the university's academics and researchers, remember to reach out to our SSD with your project ideas, and we'll help you to find the right funding opportunities for you, and will support you in your application and improve its quality to increase its chances of being successful. So today we're going to focus on national funding, and I'm very happy to say that national funding opportunities. I mean, I've been at the university for 10 years now, and I've seen the national and the regional funding, opportunities to increase dramatically. And it's great because, we are being consulted on what the needs of the country are, and new opportunities are being created to target these needs. So it's very exciting, and also for researchers, it's a good starting point when entering the funding world. So yes, stay tuned, and to follow all the presentations we have for you today. So the first part is regional funding. So the new programming period has started, but the new programs have not been launched yet. So the presentation will be focused on the results of the current programming period, which ended in 2020. And also there's going to be a presentation from three researchers who are implementing projects under these schemes. So they're going to share their experiences with you. Okay, so our first speaker for this morning is Miss Maria Elena Muscat, who's the program manager for Interreg Italia Malta. Good morning, Elena. Maria Elena.
Hi, good morning. I would like to give the floor first to my colleague, Miss Maria Catania, because she's going to do a general introduction on all our presentations and about the
That's no
unit.
problem. No problem.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I seem not to be able to open my camera, but okay. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As Mariana has said, I will give just a little brief introduction about our unit. So basically, within the Funds and Programs Division, we are the Territorial Cooperation Unit. We basically are the national contact points for the programs in which Malta is eligible to participate. We are a total of 4 persons, our director, Ms. Carmen Dalli, and 3 program managers, basically 4. Our role is basically to promote the programs, the different programs, and also as national contact points, we are there to support the beneficiaries that we call project partners, and also to support the managing authorities of the respective programs in any issues that may arise. We are also part of the monitoring committees of the same programs, where the main decisions for the program are taken, and also part of the selection committees of the same programs, where the projects are selected for approval by the by the monitoring committee. Basically, just to just as the introduction said, there are no more calls being issued just now because basically the programming period has officially sort of ended, even though the projects are still being implemented. But in regards to post-2020, the task forces for the different programs are well in progress. It is expected that the programs submit the managing authorities of the programs submit their programs to the Commission by this year for approval. And we are envisaging that by next year, there will be the first calls of the different programs. As a territorial cooperation unit, for now, we do not have information about the specific priorities which the different programs will be addressing. But we will obviously be informing you through internet notifications, mail shots, and so on. Most importantly, and hopefully through information sessions to be held to inform you better about the new programs and the calls from the same programs. I think that's all from my part. I give the floor back to Maria Elena, who will introduce the program Italia Malta. Thank you.
So thank you, Maria. So from my end, I need to share my presentation, I believe, but I'm not seeing the icon. I don't know if I can share or the organizer will be sharing the presentation.
Yes, Maria Elena, we'll set you as co-host and you will be able to share your screen.
Okay, because I'm not seeing
just
any
arranging.
possibility right now.
It's all right. So now it should be fine, Maria Elena. Could you check?
I'm not seeing any share option at the moment. All right, okay, I can see it now. Okay.
You can see it? Okay, okay. Let's check.
Okay. So can you see my presentation now?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. So first of all, thank you to Maria for the general introduction. And so as Maria said, I'm one of the program managers involved in this unit. I'm the program manager on the Interreg Italia Malta program. As she said as well, these programs were covering the period 2014-2020. So I'll be giving you a general overview on the program. So the overall objective of the program is that to provide a cooperation opportunity for projects in specific sectors like technology sector. Its aim was to create conditions for smart, sustainable and inclusive growth. And with the potential to work in areas within the territories involved in the sectors of environmental protection, security of land and sea, cultural heritage, quality of life and health of the citizens. As the name implies, this program involves only 2 states, and specifically the Italian region of Sicily only, and the whole region of Malta and Gozo, obviously. The program is managed by Sicily, so the managing authority resides in Palermo in Sicily, and our role is that of the Malta National Coordinating Authority. So basically, we coordinate with the managing authority and the joint secretariat of the program. We are here to monitor the implementation of the projects by the Maltese partners. So our monitoring role involves keeping regular contact with the Maltese partners to aid and assist through the implementation. The program involves 3 axes. Axis 1 is targeting innovation and research. Axis 2 is about competitiveness, and Axis 3 about protecting the environment and risk management. So this also involves elements of climate change. The program has issued 2 calls, and there is no other prospective call, because as Maria said, the programs are coming to a close, although we have some projects which have just started in the past few months. So these will be implemented in the coming years up till 2023. There are a total of 26 selected projects, both from Call 1 and Call 2, and there are around 40 Maltese partners involved, many of which involve the University of Malta, in fact, and many other different partners. Malta has committed around 14.7 million in ERDF funds from these projects, out of around 42 million as a total, involving also the Sicilian partners. And partners are very varied. They include public authorities and public equivalent entities, so ministries and any other government bodies. We also have local councils, the University of Malta and various universities from Sicily, NGOs, as well as private companies. So the program is very, it's very wide. Some useful links are the program website, which is italiamalta.eu, and we also then have our own national contact point website, which is eufunds.gov.mt, as well as eufundsmalta.gov.mt. As you can see, there is my email address and my contact number, so in case you have any queries, you can easily contact us. And also, as has been mentioned as well by Maria, in the future, in the coming months, we hope to be in contact with some promotional material with regards to the new program, which is currently being drafted. That's it from my end. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Maria Elena. Yes, our next speaker is Mr. Carmel Vella, who will talk to us about Interreg Europe. You can see your presentation and you can start. Just a second, because we can't hear you for some reason. Maybe you're muted.
Hey.
Just a second. شنو؟ مش نسمع. No, we can't hear you. We're checking from our side as well. What's going on? Just
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Carmel. I think we can hear you now.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I've put my earplugs in.
There you were. Okay, so you can start.
Can you see the presentation screen?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. I'm Carmel Vella, and I'm the Maltese national contact point for the Interreg Europe program. So as my colleagues have explained, at the moment, the Joint Secretariat of this program, together with all the participating member states, including Malta, are currently discussing and deciding on the new format of the new program for the upcoming period for the 2021 and 2027. Moreover, for the 2014-2020 period, the Interreg Europe program was including all the 28 member states of the European Union, obviously including also the United Kingdom, who will not be participating now in the new program. Apart from the member states of the EU, Norway and Switzerland have also been participating in this program for a total number of 30 partner states. The managing authority of the Interreg Europe program is in Lille, and will also be continuing to be in Lille for the upcoming period, while the budget for the 2014-2020 program was that of 359 million. The objective of this program is to contribute to the EU 2020 strategy to make the European territory more innovative, more sustainable, and also more inclusive. This is mainly done by supporting projects in policy learning and exchange of experiences among the relevant organizations to improve performance of policies and programs for regional development. At the moment, 4 calls have been issued, launched by the program, and there are no more calls envisaged for the current program, therefore the 14-20. And 12 Maltese beneficiaries are currently participating in 16 projects, benefiting from around 2.9 million in European Regional Development Funds. At the moment, there's also a call for additional activities. This call is giving the opportunity to ongoing projects to continue with their activities, which could not be held during the past year and a half due to the pandemic. The main priority axes of the Interreg Europe program are 4. These are low carbon economy, environment and resource efficiency, competitiveness of SMEs, and strengthening research, technological development, and innovation. As you can see, 6 Maltese project partners are currently participating under low carbon economy, 5 project partners under environment and resource efficiency, 3 under competitiveness of SMEs, and 2 under the strengthening research, technological development, and innovation. The following are some useful links which you may refer to. We have link for the official link of the program, link of our unit within the Funds and Programs division, and also my contact details in case you may need further information with regards to program calls, events, and so on. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to meet in the near future once we organize info sessions and other events in relation to the first calls of the new program.
We have a question from the audience.
I would like to ask regarding the next calls of Interreg, how the Commission is publishing the projected dates of opening of the next calls. They can be ±1 month, but at least they give a vague idea of when the next call is coming. So I would like to know when Interreg call is coming. Is it beginning of this year, or the last months of 2001, or the first months of 2002? So we would need this projection for the planning of the calls and to prepare the Maltese researchers for applying for Interreg calls. Is it possible to share at least a very vague projection for the publishing of the calls and opening of the calls?
With regards to the Interreg Europe program, we are expecting that the first call be launched within the first months of 2022, although the information is not official yet.
If I may also include something, as my colleague said, Carmen, the information is not yet official, so it can be changed as well. But we are, as far as my programs are concerned, the Interreg Med and the NICBC Med, those are being envisaged to be launched next year in 2022. But as soon as we have more information, we will be giving out this information. And also, if you visit the websites for the different programs, you may find a specific section speaking about the post-2020 proceedings, where you can get a better idea of where the program is focused in regards to priorities and so on, and also a timeline of the calls, etc.
Thank you.
If
And
I may add,
with
with
yes.
regards to, excuse me, with regards to Italia Malta, it's the same argument basically. Currently, the program is going through the consultative process, so we're presuming that the first calls will be issued sometime next year, I guess.
Okay, and will you be holding the info session prior to publishing the calls?
Once,
so will it
once
be
we have further details, obviously we will be then holding information sessions accordingly. Thanks.
Do you think it will be like the end of this year? Is it possible, or
hopefully if the programs are finalized, hopefully we could start providing some information, but again it always depends from the managing authority, since we're not the managing authority of none of the programs being mentioned. It strictly depends on how the things proceed, but the idea is to finalize by this year so that there are new calls next year then.
Okay, and last question regarding participation of UK. It was mentioned that UK will not participate at all, but will it be participating as like a third country, or is there any conditions, or they just out of the program completely?
And in my case, it's only Italia Malta, so I don't know if my colleagues are affected. They can give you some more feedback on this.
In the case of Interreg Med, Gibraltar was one of the eligible regions, let's say, in the program. However, there doesn't seem to be any they will not be participating in any way, and same applies for the NICBC Med program.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So if we don't have questions on the Zoom, we can complete this presentation. Thank you very much. And okay, now we can proceed with the projects presenting themselves. Okay.
So now we have presentations by 3 researchers who are implementing or have implemented successfully a project under this program. We have Dr. Christopher Barbara presenting the ITAMA project.
Excuse me,
Yes,
I don't know if we're a bit pressed with time, but I think we have to introduce 2 more programs.
Okay. We'll manage. No worries.
I don't know if you are able to see.
Yes, you can share your screen. Okay.
Can you see it?
Interreg Med. Yes, we can see Interreg Med program.
Okay, so I'll be very quick. So the Interreg Med program has the objective of promoting sustainable growth, as well as focusing and fostering innovative concepts and making good use of resources. The cooperation area comprises 13 different states, 10 of which are EU member states, and 3 IPA countries. The managing authority is situated in France. The priorities for the program are the following: promotion of material innovation capacities to develop smart and sustainable growth. The second one is fostering low carbon strategies, energy and efficiency. Priority Axis 3 promotes the natural and cultural resources, and Priority Axis 4 focuses on the governance for the Mediterranean. So far, there have been 10 calls for project proposals, and Maltese entities are participating in 28 different projects. There have been 5.4 million ARDF funds given to these partners, and partners involve public authorities, public equivalent entities, NGOs, as well as private companies. There are some useful links as well. And just to skip to the second part, can you see the other
useful links?
So, to switch, okay. I'm also a program manager for the ENI CBC Med program. Basically, the overall objective is similar or not to the other one. It's basically more about fostering fair, equitable, and sustainable economic, social, and territorial development through the promotion of economic and social development and addressing challenges in the environment of the area. The cooperation area includes 14 countries, 7 which are European countries, as listed over here, as well as 7 Mediterranean countries, which include basically North African countries, as well as some Middle Eastern countries. Managing authorities situated in Cagliari, Sardinia. Here are the different priorities, which are a bit more open, let's say, and focused on different topics. So far, there have been 3 calls. However, there is no plan to issue any more calls. We have 5 partners participating in 5 different projects, and they have been granted 862,000 funds for these projects. Same as the Interreg Med, these comprise different partners from the public and private sector. Please feel free to contact us for any questions. As I said, visit the program website to get more information about latest information about the programming, and give us a call if you have any specific questions. Thank you for inviting us, and I thank as well the project partners who have agreed to participate in this session today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria and Carmel and Maria Elena, for your detailed presentations, and we look forward to hear more about the new calls when the time comes. So now, yes, we'll pass on to the project presentations. So the first is Dr. Christopher Barbara presenting the ITAMA project. Good morning, Dr. Barbara.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you very much to the project managers, who I'm sure without their help wouldn't be able to make this project a success. I think, I'm not sure if you are seeing my screen. Are you seeing?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So actually I'm here at Mater Dei, and we're looking at some autoimmune diseases. In other words, our body is overreacting, overprotecting ourselves to certain allergens which come into our body. These allergens, in this particular case, is food, okay? So we are eating food, things like gluten, bread, and so on, which is actually, our body is reacting too much to it. So we said, let's look into this and look into children, because usually we get the diagnosis when it's too late and there is already some damage to the intestinal walls. So we looked at our colleagues at ITAMA, which is a multidisciplinary project and part financed, as we heard, by Interreg VA Italia Malta program. It is under the leadership of the Department of Physics and Chemistry at the University of Palermo, and now have become very good friends with this university, and I'm sure it will be a seed which will flourish in the future. We have project partners, which are the Ministry for Health at Mater Dei Hospital, and also Across Limits, which is an SME and also the University of Messina are project partners as well. We started in 2018. We should have finished, but we have had an extension because we were looking into testing children for celiac disease, but because the schools closed because of the COVID pandemic, then we had to continue and extend our program. We still have a lot of cases of celiac disease with people who have diarrhea, abdominal pain, weight loss, and so on, and are still don't know the diagnosis. So this has led to a long list of complications. So if we do an early diagnosis and we went into children between 4 and 12 years of age, we are using not an invasive test. We're not taking blood from the vein, but we're using just a little drop of blood from the finger and using a point of care test to check or screen for celiac. Now, the current diagnosis of celiac is by doing an endoscopy and taking a biopsy, which is quite an invasive technique. At today's age, we are looking at, this is why we have asked the help of Across Limits, of looking at the symptoms in all these children, putting a questionnaire, looking at all the tests. If the screening tests are positive, we then do some confirmatory blood tests. We're then doing the endoscopy and biopsy. But if we see that without the endoscopy and biopsy, we get a diagnosis with artificial intelligence, we might in the future have a software which will prevent an invasive procedure, prevent doing endoscopies and biopsies in children. This software, of course, will be then given free of charge to our hospital and the project partner hospitals so that they can use it, but other hospitals, of course, will have to buy it. So this is the aim, what I was telling you, trying to create awareness of the condition, early diagnosis, and have tools for technology transfer and process innovation in the healthcare sector. I'm trying to go a bit faster. We are doing quite a lot of tests here at Pathology. Now with COVID, we're even doing more, but I can tell you we do about 6 million tests a year. We have 400 members of staff and about 200 rooms, which include labs and offices. Of course, we spend quite a lot of money on salaries and on kits and disposables. So our role in this project is to source our kits, our point of care tests, sourcing the people to perform the test, the scientists. We also have sent to all the schools physical copies of the questionnaire so that we get the symptomatology from the parents and questions and put everything in a database. We work with the pediatricians so that they can coordinate blood tests, and those children with a positive test, then they go into the Mater Dei admission list so that we can follow them up. Also, if we have some other confirmatory tests, we're working with our pathologists in Palermo and Bucheri La Ferla Hospital so that we can make a confirmation. And then, of course, we are supporting all the logistic processes as necessary. We all know what we eat. We as Maltese, we eat a lot of wheat, including bread and pasta and rice, okay? The staple cereal in Malta is 78% bread, mainly local white bread. We also eat a lot of pasta. I'm getting an appetite now, which includes 11% of the total purchase of our cereal products. Now, if we had to look at the statistics and the distribution of celiac disease in Malta, we can see, I'm not sure if you're seeing the arrow, that there is a lot of number of cases which are unfortunately missed under the age of 5 years. This is why we started at the age of 4. Then gradually the age drops. And then again at the age of 40 to 50, we get another peak. So this is always important for doctors to remember in the differential diagnosis. We can see the differences between males and females. It's the same at the young age group, but then as we grow older, over 20, females are by far the more predominant. Okay. Something very important, once you know that you are a celiac person or there is actually a reaction to eating gluten, not only do you, if you continue using this food, do you damage your intestinal wall and mucosa, but because you are using gluten-free products, you can get vouchers which entitle you to money so that you can buy these more expensive products from the supermarket. And at the moment, we have 1,405 vouchers being issued. So what did we do in the project? I'm trying to be a bit fast, not to take much of your time. This is the questionnaire with the symptomatology, which is all put into a database. We are trying to find whether we can, with a good detailed questionnaire, make a diagnosis from the symptomatology on its own. Of course, this has to be complemented by a test. We are trying to avoid putting in a lot of needles in young children, so we're using a point of care test. It was very difficult to recruit nurses, so we made a memorandum of understanding with the Malta Union of Medical Nurses, the MUMN, okay? And of course, these are sending their nurses over. We're being very kind to the children, explaining what we're doing. It's like a fun game. And of course, we are screening these children at a young age so that if they are gluten positive, or TTG is the test we're using, then we know at an early age. So we also have collected all the physical questionnaires. They're returned to the labs for storage. We are identifying the positive cases. We are also counseling the parents and asking them for follow-up. And children with a positive point of care test then have to do a blood test, which we do confirmations here at Immunology and also send some tests abroad. This is the test which we do. I've put it in so that you would know the sensitivity and specificity of the test, which is very, very good. We then do another confirmatory test, which is an EMA technique, which is done using an indirect immunofluorescence, using a microscope. And then, of course, when we get both these tests positive, then we refer to a pediatric anthropist, and she will take a biopsy from these children. So we are following the gold standard. Hopefully in the future, the gold standard will change and possibly be replaced by this software, but this will be our end result. This is the mission. We'll see whether this will be a success or not. The blood samples are then shipped to Palermo, okay? And more tests will be done over there. The same tests which we are doing here, the same process is being done with our young children in Sicily as well. In Messina, there is a specialist in Messina who's taking care of. These are the number of tests we've done. Amazing, 18,360 point of care tests, all done during the period of the pandemic, and I thank the parents for being so cooperative. We found 131 positives. Up till now, we've done 93 blood tests from the veins for these children. We're now proceeding to the last stage, which is the endoscopy stage. Hopefully by that time, we would have discovered quite a number of children who are suffering from celiac disease at an early stage, and we would have prevented the irreversible damage to the intestinal mucosa. Of course, from there on, our colleagues at Across Limits will then try to prepare the software to see whether we can do away with the invasive endoscopy and biopsy. So this is where we are at the moment. We hope to finish the project very soon. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barbara, for a very, very, very interesting presentation of your project. And next speaker is Professor Alan Daydoun, who will present the BITHOS project. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning. Good morning, Angie. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. So I will share my screen. I will basically, since I think all of us have had now a bonanza of presentations, I will use slightly different tools to convey my message, which is mainly an animation clip, which we developed within the BITHOS project. So I'll share my screen, just a second, and it should be this one. So just a second. Okay. Can you actually hear the sound of the animation clip?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
sound is
very
good.
Okay, okay.
Sorry?
So I'll play this animation clip, which basically
The animation, no, we can't hear the animation, Alan. Just we can hear you, but not the animation.
Okay, let me unplug my headphones. So let me try again.
Because there's a setting on Zoom where you set your sound instead of to the headphones to the speakers.
I need to stop sharing. Hold on. Okay.
Resources and reducing waste.
Okay, just
It's okay now, Ellen. But we can't see the screen now. There's no sound, Alan, now.
Waste into a resource. The bite.
Now it's okay. It's okay. No.
Resources.
It's
both living
okay.
and non-living.
Okay.
Some of these resources are non-renewable. The circular economy model aims to address this by promoting the reuse of resources and reducing waste. The BITHOS project targets fish waste. Like most Mediterranean countries, Malta and Sicily are heavily invested in both fishing and aquaculture, which generate copious amounts of fish waste in our seas, as the entire fish biomass cannot be marketed or sold. But this so-called waste is a treasure trove for resources, such as collagen, fish oils, and fish meal, which can be extracted from the discarded biomass thanks to the surge in blue biotechnology. Collagen, for instance, an essential component of cartilage for our skin and bones that deteriorates as we age, has become the new gold. Supplementation and collagen's use in cosmetic and reconstructive surgery, osteoarthritis treatment, and wound healing has led to huge demand. Same demand is true for fish oil supplements and fish meal for fish farms. Within BITHOS, collagen, fish oils, and fish meal have been successfully extracted by discarded fish biomass within our laboratories, demonstrating circular economy principles as a way of promoting a more sustainable way of dealing with fish biomass. The BITHOS project is led by the University of Palermo and sees the participation of 7 different partners from Malta and Sicily, including the Lipari Island Local Council, the Distretto di Pesca e Pescaturismo, the University of Malta, the Department of Fisheries and Agriculture here in Malta, and an SME, Aqua Biotech. The project is funded under the Interreg Italia-Malta 2014-2020 program and was conducted over the 2019 to 2021 period. For further information, visit www.bithos.eu.
so I'll put on. I think you can hear me. Yes. Okay.
All good, Alan.
Okay, very good. So basically, that short animation clip encapsulates, the spirit of BITOS. So BITOS, within BITOS, which is led by the University of Palermo, features 7 partners, as we've seen. The University of Malta is one of the 3 Maltese partners, along with a policymaker, which is the Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture within the Maltese Ministry, and also an SME, an industrial partner, which is Aquabiotech. And it basically ticks a lot of boxes in terms of, for example, blue biotechnology, which is one of the main pillars nowadays of the blue growth strategy of the EU, but also it's one of the main pillars within the ongoing discussions at the United Nations for the BBNJ treaty, but it also ticks, for example, the box of circular economy. As has been shown in the animation clip, Malta, 10% of Malta's exports actually come from the aquaculture sector, especially from the bluefin tuna industry, which generates, unfortunately, however, copious amounts of waste mainly in terms of unsold parts of the fish, of the bluefin tuna. So when I say copious amounts, we're speaking of something like 3,000 to 4,000 tons each year. And this unexploited waste, unexploited resource, I would say, because waste nowadays is obviously a resource, is legally dumped, discharged into the sea within Maltese waters at the edge of the continental waters each year. So this biomass would consist of fish heads, fish tails, fins, and so on and so forth. And this is a terrible waste, obviously, because this is a resource which holds a lot of biologically active molecules, most important of which are collagen and omega-3 oils, but probably in future we will find that there are many more of these, and we'll find many more applications. Yes, the labs at the University of Malta have actually been supplied by the ministry with some of this biomass coming from local fish farms, from local bluefin tuna fish farms. And we've managed to extract, and here I wish to obviously salute and congratulate my co-worker my co-researcher in this project, which is Dr. Marion Zamit Manjon, who obviously through her lab and through her staff collaborated with myself on this project. And we managed, as I was saying, to extract good quality collagen. And the quality of this collagen has been certified by a cosmetics lab in Northern Italy, in fact, Kia Lab, since obviously collagen destined for human use, for human use for applications such as in the cosmetics industry needs to reach a certain standard, obviously. And this cosmetics industry obviously confirmed the high quality of the collagen extracted, but also the high quality of the high grade quality of the omega-3 oils we extracted, even omega-6 and omega-9 oils we extracted from this biomass, for which we did several tests, including GCMS, and also testing for heavy metal and microbiological contamination, but also mercury. Amongst the heavy metal, obviously also mercury contamination, since mercury is quite an issue. Mercury contamination, unfortunately, is quite an issue for Maltese waters. So that is on the research point of view, on the laboratory analysis point of view. Also within the project, we commissioned a socioeconomic assessment of the impact of BITOS activities on the local economy, on local employment opportunities, but also in terms of the marine environment. This study has been completed, and now we have in hand quite a good and solid study conducted by the company in question, which is giving us, an idea in terms of numbers and pounds and shillings of what the impact of the BITOS activities could be. So this is the legacy, some of the legacy left behind. Obviously, we have plans to take this forward, and we're already targeting calls which are out there to continue with the work we started off in BETOS. For example, the ERANET co-fund, which is currently available, and also to target other species, for example, jellyfish, not just waste fish biomass, but also jellyfish, which are being increasingly used throughout Europe and throughout the world to extract interesting molecules to treat, for example, to treat certain tumors, but also to treat inflammation, you know, and that's to treat chronic pain, and so on and so forth. So jellyfish are a really promising group, you know, taxonomic group. So Blue Pipe technology is definitely, you know, a highly promising area. Just to finish off, to cap this off, besides BETOS, our research group also was participating in Harmony within the same call, which is another Italia-Malta project, which finished off last February. BETOS should have finished on the 31st of May, so roughly 6 weeks ago, but it got extended by another 6 months. So project activities have been extended till the end of November, even though, as I said, the University of Malta has almost completed basically its participation within this project. Within the subsequent Italia-Malta program call, our research group, the University of Malta, is actually leading one project, which is Corallo, which kicked off last November, and is also participating in another project, which is Senhar. So all in all, we're really active in Italia-Malta projects. And to close off, if I may pass a recommendation, a suggestion, to try to obviously seek coordination across the board between different funding calls, because from what I was hearing, it seems that next year will be a watershed in terms of these funding programs. We'll have MP, CBC Med, ANI now it's called CBC Med, Interreg Europe, Interreg Med, possibly even Italia Malta. So obviously this makes it extremely difficult for us to follow all these funding programs at the same time, and as well, not just the researchers, but also obviously the support staff at the university and within all the other entities whose valid work is instrumental for us researchers. Obviously we'll end up with a bottleneck, since there's only so much that you can apply for and that you can follow. So if I think there should be this pan view, that somebody has this pan view of all the funding programs out there, so that we try to spread out as much as possible the deadlines, the submission deadlines, to avoid, you know, clutter, and to avoid, you know, having this bottleneck. Okay, I'll stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alan, for presenting your project as well as the animation approach. Really appreciate that. So next in line is Professor Maurice Grech, who's going to present his microwatts project. Good morning, Professor Grech.
Hi, good morning. Okay, so let me maximize. Okay, first of all, thank you very much for the invite, and good morning, or maybe good morning, yeah, everyone. Today I shall be sharing findings from our project Microwatts, which really deals with the development of micro wastewater treatment systems using photocatalytic surfaces. I shall be talking about photocatalytic surfaces in a minute, but for the time being, let me introduce Microwatts. Microwatts is a 2.5 million Italia-Malta Interreg project. It is led by the University of Malta. It has 6 partners, 3 Italian or Sicilian and 3 Maltese, 2 of which are actually SMEs. Okay, so let me start by answering the question, why microwatts, or why do we need to treat water? First of all, around 30% of good quality water is used for toilet flushing. As you can see from the pie chart, which actually represent the distribution of water consumption in Sicily, and which, by the way, is not very different from that in Malta and many other. So there's 30% which is used for toilet flushing, and then quite a lot is used for personal washing, and the rest is between washing clothes and cooking. Now, in Malta, water is obtained through desalination and groundwater extraction. So, of course, water is a valuable resource. And both Malta and Sicily are actually water-stressed countries. So, if the whole idea of microwatt is really to take water from personal washing and from clothes cleaning, represented by the blue and the green sectors in the pie chart, which is normally referred to as gray water, treat this, and then this water can be used for non-potable applications such as toilet flushing, irrigation, and maybe car washing. Okay, so there are a number of processes that can be used to treat water. Many of these are suitable for large-scale production, but photocatalysis actually lends itself quite well for small-scale production. I don't want to go into any particular detail, but basically, when you have a photocatalytic surface, and this is radiated by UV light or visible light, it produces oxidants, shown over here, which then react with the contamination, and the byproduct is water and carbon dioxide. The process does not use any chemicals, and it can actually break a number of pollutants, rendering gray water safe for use. Now, I must say that traditionally, photocatalytic processes involved titanium dioxide nanopowders. This method exploits the incredibly large surface area of these nanopowders. And of course, these help to accelerate the degradation process of these pollutants. The downside of this method is that it is difficult to collect these powders and reuse them, and as a result, these powders eventually pollute the environment. The whole idea, therefore, behind microwatts is to do away with these nanopowders and instead use surfaces which have a nanostructure. The idea of the nanostructure morphology, as we shall see in some of the slides that follow, is to maximize the surface area of these surfaces. Of course, we do realize, and we did realize from the beginning of the project, that it would be extremely difficult, I should say impossible, to have a surface area which is as large as that produced by the nanopowders. So right from the beginning, I'm talking about a proposal stage of the project, we thought that we will design and build two types of water treatment systems, one operating using solar radiation and one using UV radiation. The whole idea of the latter is that you can increase the intensity of the radiation at will, as well as the time of operation, and thus compensating in some way for the smaller surface area. By smaller, I mean smaller than the nano powders. Okay, so let me come to the objective, therefore, of microwatts. It was our idea that we develop, first of all, a number of photocatalytic surfaces, then to carry out tests and to decide which of these photocatalytic surfaces performs best, and then to upscale the process for the production of this best performing surface, and finally to design and build two systems, the solar and the UV gray water treatment units, load these with the best performing materials, install these and test these prototypes. Now, so from now on, I shall be referring to the two units as solar and UV systems. Okay, so as I said, the first stage was producing these photocatalytic surfaces. What you can see there in the slide is titanium dioxide nanotubes. If you look at the cross-section, you will immediately appreciate our effort to increase the surface area. Such a surface has a surface area which is hundreds of times larger than the length times breadth surface area. Shown here are other surfaces produced by one other partner, actually, which is again titanium dioxide, now not nanotubes, and doped with silver. The zinc oxide is also doped with silver, and the whole idea of using silver, of course, silver has antibacterial characteristics, so you can imagine the advantage of that. Okay, so the next stage was, of course, testing these materials. And we started by testing these using methyl blue dye and see how well this material can break this dye down. And you can see immediately that the titanium dioxide nanotubes produced by different techniques actually performed very well, and it could break the dye completely after 4 hours. In comparison, the other surfaces did not perform that well. We wanted to test these materials also to see its antibacterial activity. In this case, we used E. coli for testing purposes. And again, you can see that the titanium dioxide nanotubes performed very well, but there were two other surfaces, those that were doped with silver, and these are the titanium dioxide with silver and the zinc oxide with silver. Actually, I've seen the SCM image of these two. They also performed very well, even better than the titanium dioxide at this stage. Okay, at this stage, we were able to say, okay, the materials were new, this is the picture. But we asked ourselves, how do these materials perform when they age? After 1 month, after 2 months, what happens? So we started with performing laboratory-based tests. We used the setup shown here. We placed the materials in these aquariums, if you want to call them that. We radiated them with UV and visible light. We passed synthetic gray water over them, and we took samples at specific periods, after 1 week, after 2 weeks, etc. And again, we tested using methyl blue and E. coli. And these are the pictures, actually, of these surfaces, SCM images of these surfaces. we noticed, of course, as expected, that these surfaces, were gradually being fouled. And of course, the results that we got reflected this. First of all, it's obvious from the results that with aging, the activity towards methyl blue degradation or the activity to kill E. coli decreases, of course, but it is pretty obvious that the titanium dioxide nanotubes produced using glycol, which is the black line here, okay, performed best. In other words, it remained better than the other materials that degraded quite rapidly. Interesting was the antibacterial activity towards E. coli. Again, the titanium dioxide nanotubes performed best, but interestingly, some of the materials, for example, the green line here, which was the zinc oxide doped with silver, which performed even better than the titanium dioxide when new, it degraded very, very, very rapidly. Actually, this coating was dissolving, which is the reason why it fell so rapidly. Okay, we were not happy enough with this, and we asked ourselves, do these laboratory-based tests represent what actually happens under natural degradation? So what we did was we designed and built an aging unit. Again, we placed the materials in these units. Of course, we exposed this to solar radiation. We passed synthetic gray water over the surfaces, and again, we extracted samples at specific periods of time. This test, I must say, continued for a whole year. And the surfaces, again, seen under the scanning electron microscope, can be seen here. Again, as expected, the material, was gradually fouled. There was widespread fouling after 32 weeks, 8 months, in other words, and even more so after 1 week. But how did these surfaces perform? Well, as regards to methyl blue, there was rapid degradation and then more or less stabilization. With regards to E. coli degradation, you could see that the material remained relatively active up to 16 weeks. And even after 32 weeks, which is 8 months really, the activity was over 50%. At this stage, we were absolutely convinced that the titanium dioxide nanotubes is the best material to use. So the next challenge now was upscaling the production process. We needed materials for the solar units, for the UV units. This was no mean task in no way, but we surmounted all the problems and we produced all the surfaces required, something like 30 square meters, which is a hell of a lot. And what you can see there is are the solar units with the titanium dioxide photocatalytic surfaces over here. And after installation, we started testing this system. As expected, really, this does not give any fantastic results. What you can see here is the degradation of the control, the black line, and the red is the one with the titanium dioxide. But before judging, I must say that first of all, we're testing bacteria here. under the conditions in which we are operating, bacteria will multiply very rapidly. So to some extent, maintaining the bacteria constant is, to some extent, I repeat, a success. We were, of course, not pleased with this, not said with this, and we started designing and building the UV unit. You can see the design of the prototype there, and you can see the test bed there. Immediately, results were better. Even I'm showing you here are the very first trials. We got a 2 order of magnitude drop in bacteria in less than 1 hour. We continued experimenting with the parameters, and we still are actually. And we started experimenting with non-circulation, in other words, keeping the water, the gray water constant and radiating it. And we got much better results than what I'm showing here, several orders of magnitude drop. We are still experimenting to optimize the process parameters in these results, but results are extremely promising. We also carried out a life cycle and costing exercise with a functional unit of 20 liters per day operating for 15 years. We compared the main water and the wastewater treatment with our solar unit and UV unit. And very, very shortly from the life cycle analysis, it became clear that the use phase has the highest environmental impact, mainly from the energy, which of course the UV unit consumes. And from the life cycle costing exercise, again, it became clear that it's the capital cost which outweighs in a big way all other costs incurred over the 15 years. So to conclude, we have seen that the UV unit offers distinct advantages over the solar unit, mainly because you can increase the radiation at will and the testing time at will. Point number 2, and a very important conclusion, is that the UV unit can produce 20 liters of treated water daily, 200 liters of treated water daily when operating for 14 hours. This is very important because 200 liters is actually the consumption for a family of 4, how much water they would consume for toilet flushing, etc. So it's a very important output, and it was the target of this project. Now, ongoing work is currently focusing on optimizing the process parameters. So we're expecting to see an increase in these figures. Also from costing and environmental size, reducing the capital costs and specific energy consumption. So it's very important that the UV unit, okay, is a modular unit, first of all, so it can be easily upscaled, and this is very important. And findings show that this system can offer a viable solution for domestic gray water treatment. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Greg. So yes, we covered water, we covered fish waste, and we covered children diagnostics. So that's very, very interesting presentations. Thank you, everyone.